The Real Deal, 1988, India. Long before the internet turned it into a global meme, The Real Deal was simply a Hindi family drama about greed, morality, and family conflict. Nothing even remotely connected to the world of superheroes. But buried inside this melodramatic film is one of the most unintentionally iconic bootleg superhero moments ever shot. In the song Tu Mera Superman, Govinda suddenly appears dressed in a bright, obviously unlicensed Superman suit, while Kimi Katkar dances beside him wearing a Spider-Woman-style costume. In 1980s Bollywood, musical fantasy sequences often ignored logic entirely, and costume borrowing was common because superhero IP wasn't enforced in India. The filmmakers weren't trying to make a superhero movie. They simply needed a flamboyant visual centerpiece for a love song. What they ended up creating, though, was a bizarre DC-Marvel crossover decades before the real studios ever attempted one. That single dance number eventually resurfaced online, becoming so wildly shared that even James Gunn reposted it for fun, cementing The Real Deal as an accidental legend in the bootleg superhero universe. The Avengers in Niger, 2015, Nigeria. In 2015, local Nigerian filmmaker Man Hussein set out to produce something small, fun, and unmistakably Nigerian. A community-shot superhero parody called The Avengers in Niger. This wasn't a studio production, nor was it intended to compete with Marvel. It was a passion project, a homemade comedy short film with friends, local youth actors, and minimal resources. The film takes the idea of Marvel's Avengers and drops them straight into everyday Nigerian life. Costumes were stitched together from whatever materials the team could afford, and scenes were filmed in backyards, open fields, and neighborhood streets. The goal was simple: create something entertaining for local audiences and share it online and to small Nollywood pages. While it never played in theaters or aimed for the mainstream, its charm lies in how honestly it reinterprets the Avengers through Nigerian culture. Spider-Man, 1978, Japan. Japan's 1978 Spider-Man is a rare case where something is fully licensed yet feels like the wildest bootleg ever made. When Marvel partnered with Toei in the late 70s, they allowed the Japanese studio to reinvent Spider-Man entirely, with almost no restrictions. Toei happily accepted. Their vision follows Takuya Yamashiro, a motocross racer who gets his powers not from a radioactive spider, but from an alien from planet Spider. Instead of a troubled teenage photographer, he becomes a Tokatsu-style hero battling rubber-suited monsters. In the true Toei fashion, he pilots a massive transforming robot called Leopardon.
레오파르도 미소 킹이다. 젠지 레오파르도.
Which would eventually influence the creation of Super Sentai, the series that became Power Rangers. Toei even released a 24-minute theatrical special during their Toei Manga Matsuri Festival, making this technically a Spider-Man movie. The result is an officially sanctioned adaptation that looks nothing like Marvel's character, yet stands today as one of the most surreal and influential reinterpretations in superhero history. Superman, 1980, India. Just 2 years after Christopher Reeves' Superman swept the world, Indian filmmakers crafted their own version, but with a distinctly cultural twist. The 1980 Telugu film Superman, directed by V. Madhusudana Rao and starring N.T. Rama Rao, I'm sorry if I butchered the names, took the familiar Western superhero and reimagined him through Hindu mythology. Instead of Krypton, this Superman draws his power from Lord Hanuman, the revered deity symbolizing strength and devotion. By giving their superhero a divine blessing rather than an alien heritage, the filmmakers avoided copyright trouble and anchored the character in a framework instantly recognizable to local audiences. His costume too replaced the iconic S with an H, and the story blended Indian melodrama, devotional themes, and action. This wasn't simply a remake, it was an act of localization. It shows how Indian cinema adopted Western superhero ideas but reshaped them into something spiritually and culturally familiar. Spidergirl, 2016, Nigeria. Nollywood is known for producing films quickly, creatively, and with a focus on storytelling over spectacle, and Spidergirl is a perfect example.
You will pay for all the crimes you've committed against humanity. especially against my attitude. You will pay!
Released through Nollywood's direct-to-video ecosystem and shared online in multiple parts, the film follows a girl who gains mysterious spider powers and becomes the unlikely hero of her community. The production used basic digital effects to create web attacks and wall-jumping abilities, and the costume clearly draws inspiration from Spider-Man without naming him. Its existence became widely known when international media outlets highlighted the movie's poster, a hilariously off-brand creation of Spider-Man imagery that was so blatant it became instantly meme-worthy. Even with its rough edges, Spider-Girl reflects the inventive spirit of Nollywood, taking a globally recognized idea and rebuilding it using local talent, low-budget ingenuity, and pure enthusiasm. Three Giant Men, 1973, Turkey. Fewer superhero bootlegs are as infamous as Turkey's Three Giant Men, released in 1973. At a time when Turkey frequently produced unauthorized remakes due to lax copyright enforcement. Filmmakers Steve Fikret Ushak, again, I'm sorry, decided to assemble an unlikely trio. Captain America, the Mexican wrestling icon El Santo, and a murderous version of Spider-Man. In this film, Spider-Man is not a hero. He's a violent criminal mastermind who leads a counterfeiting gang and terrorizes Istanbul with ruthless aggression. Captain America and El Santo are brought in to stop him, resulting in chaotic fight scenes, improvised costumes, and an overall tone that feels like a fever dream adaptation of Western superheroes. Despite, or perhaps because of its unlicensed nature, Three Giant Men has become a cult classic in global film culture. It stands as one of the clearest examples of how foreign filmmakers freely remixed American pop culture before modern licensing standards took hold. The Return of Superman, 1979, Turkey. Turkey's fascination with unlicensed superhero cinema continued with Superman. Just look at the screen, I don't know how to say it, I'm sorry. Released in 1979, the film is a direct, unauthorized remake of the 1978 Christopher Reeve movie, but recreated using Turkish actors, Turkish cities, and extremely limited resources. Director Kun Tulgur followed the broad beats of the Reeve film. A baby arrives on Earth in a rocket, grows up discovering his powers, takes a job as a journalist, and battles local criminals.
Planlarım burada biter. Bundan sonra yapacağın planları hapiste tasarlarsın.
Sen öyle zannet. Bütün belalardan kurtuldun ama...
But everything, from the flying sequences to the costume to the Krypton-inspired visuals, had to be recreated using practical effects, wire rigs, simple sets, and whatever materials the filmmakers could gather. The result is a film that mirrors the original while looking nothing like it. Its low-budget aesthetics, earnest performances, and improvised visual effects have made it a cult favorite among fans of bizarre international remakes. Superman, 1987, India. India returned to the Man of Steel once again in 1987 with director B. Gupta's Hindi adaptation, simply titled Superman. Starring Punit Izar. The film openly follows the structure of the 1978 American Superman movie. This is one of the most direct, unofficial remakes ever produced in India, and the similarities are unmistakable. Much like the Telugu version, this film reconstructs iconic sequences from the Reeve classic, from the hero's childhood discovery of his powers to his transformation into a costumed savior. But because it was made without any official licensing, the production relied on extremely low-budget effects, hand-built costumes, and inventive approximations of Hollywood moments. This Hindi Superman is widely remembered for its ambitious attempt to recreate a blockbuster with a fraction of the resources. It stands as a fascinating artifact of Indian cinema's unofficial superhero era, a time when Western stories were copied not out of malice, but out of admiration and creative enthusiasm. That's 8 minutes. Thank you for watching. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe for more flops.